What's up? It's Command HQ. We're doing a little Saturday night chill stream, exposing our friends in the Predator class, breaking down some of the glow ops going on out there. I am, as always, the number one boy, the Zap Attack, Agent X, your boy, with the California Raisin, not Beta Brock. How's it going, not Beta Brock?
Hey, so much stuff. You ready to stream tonight? You said it's going to be a chill stream, but I think it's going to be a lot more than that.
It's going to be a lot more, bro. Dude, oh man. What do you got on the slate?
Okay, so there's a number of theories we pulled from the internet, but we've also synthesized our own based on some of this information. So I kind of want to go over those with you, Agent X, to see what your take is on a lot of this information and just kind of get your gut instinct on what's going on.
Yeah, man. We can do that.
Okay, so the Kohberger case, your favorite case to talk about, as we were talking about before, a lot of it just doesn't add up. Some of the fact patterns don't make any sense whatsoever, and we could go over, an entire list of things that we were just talking about over the past couple of days. But I wanted to bring up some new theories. And so, I get the characters wrong occasionally, but I've been a little more focused.
I think we should start off with the fact that, it doesn't make sense that a guy who was this into criminology, who had a master's degree in it, who was studying as a first-year PhD student, would make such clear, obvious mistakes and give investigators a trail directly to him. I think that that's what is a little confounding to me. I don't know about you, but
for whatever reason, that it doesn't strike me. A lot of people, regardless of how intelligent other people claim that they are or how successful that they might be, he was in a PhD program. People have said that, he was sharp and he had good grades. All of that could also be fake. Who really knows? But what we do know is that people sometimes commit crimes because they want to get caught.
Yeah, they want the notoriety.
They want the place in the public's presence in the media. But I don't even think it's that. I just think maybe he made some mistakes in the moment if he did actually do these things. But if you look at just the whole picture here, there are things that suggest that, maybe there's more to this story than meets the eye. And, like, for example, why did Kaylee Conclaves buy a Range Rover shortly before she was involved?
Well, what's funny about her is that, okay, so she had moved out, but and had apparently graduated in the middle of a semester. I can understand maybe leaving a few weeks early if you don't have finals, or maybe their take-home finals or something like that. But she was already out of there in November. So that was weird. You had a college, she was going on a European trip apparently, and then starting a job in Austin, Texas. But she had a brand new Range Rover, and her parents said on the 2020 special and on the Dateline special last night, yeah, they had two-hour specials on two different networks, 2020 and Dateline, about this. They said that the reason she wasn't living there at the time, but the reason she was there was to show off her Range Rover. So what college student has, even if it's a used one, 15, 16, $20,000 to buy a Range Rover, and her parents didn't buy it for her. So that makes me believe, there's something else going on. She didn't work like the other two girls. So I don't know. I mean, it's very strange to me. But if you pull that article up, she just happened to be there that night, which is weird.
Yeah, let me try and pull it up.
Dude, your Miro board is failing.
I mean, there's so many articles I have about this case right now.
No, that's not it. It was a Post article. Yeah, right there. No, the second one down. That one, yeah. So she had already moved out, and she just happened to be there that night, which is bizarre to me, at least.
Okay, if she did in fact move out, like, why would she come back for a party, and why would she offer to sleep over in the same room that she was living in?
That's another thing, is they said that so she had her dog with her, apparently, right? And the dog was in her room, which was on the same floor as Maddie, across the hall. If you look at the 2020 had a recreation of it, or a graphic, but she was in the bed asleep in the other girl's room, but she left her dog in her room. It's bizarre. What were they doing in there? Very, very odd, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. There's so much, it's weird to me that Dateline in 2020 didn't mention the names of the other two girls and blurred their faces, the two who weren't attacked. And it goes back to Kohberger asking, who else was arrested. It's fun. I mean, the whole thing smells like a glow op to me.
Kohberger asked who else was arrested?
Yeah, when they initially arrested him, he apparently asked, was anybody else arrested?
Yeah. So, and he is also, I guess, in the criminal case making discovery requests related to a co-defendant.
Yeah, but I sent you the Megyn Kelly clip with Garagos on there, and apparently they were reading from a Daily Wire article. I read those discovery requests yesterday, and they basically said they were trying to make more out of it than I think it was. I think it's just that that those were just form discovery requests, just boilerplate discovery requests that the public defender had and sent out. I don't think there's anything more to it than that. I think it was pretty stupid of them, both attorneys, to make a big deal out of that when there was absolutely nothing to it.
Oh, that's possible that it was a template or boilerplate. That's what Garagos said.
Yeah,
and if
I think it was
if it's a public defender discovery request, it's very likely that it was a form discovery motion that they file in most, if not all, these cases that they are taking to trial. And public defenders, do as much as possible to prevent people from taking cases to trial. So the likelihood of this case going to trial is slim to none, in my opinion. However,
Well, no, I think it'll go to trial. I don't think they'll have that probable cause hearing. I think they'll either do something shady like indict him, or he'll just waive it and go to trial, right? It depends on what the evidence shows. You have some defense attorneys coming out saying that they see holes in that probable cause affidavit. We read the line last night where they said that the phone pinged in Moscow, but they don't believe he was in Moscow. There's definitely some holes. You just have to see what you get back. Um, I think it's going to be, if he does fight it, it's going to be a battle of experts.
Well, if it's a battle of experts, it's going to be a losing battle based on all the information that's currently available about Kohberger. But in your heart of hearts, what do you think happened here, Agent X? Do you think this was some sort of, I don't know, maybe a drug deal gone wrong?
Well, I mean, there's so many odd things about it, right? You have all the stuff with Dylan. We can go through the questions. The roommate who saw him and survived, or saw the perpetrator and survived. A lot of odd things there. You have a lot of odd things with Kohberger. And as I said, it just smells like a glow op to me. Um, and the fact that you have only one set of parents really speaking out, uh, I don't know. Doesn't that seem odd to you?
I didn't think that much about the parents. Maybe the other parents have spoken out, but you just haven't seen them. I mean, these are Gonclave's parents, right?
Yeah, no, none of the other parents have really spoken out. The dad
Maybe
was
they just
on.
don't want any additional media attention. I mean, you think that because they've just lost a son or a daughter,
Yeah, but usually
that
you'll
they're
have the
grieving right
parents.
now and they're not going to want to talk to the media. I mean, we talked about this with Robbie Parker. It's not something that's going to be, number one on your list to do.
I don't know, man. You think about all like the mass shootings and stuff like that, as tragic as they are, the parents always come out, almost always come out. I think it's unusual. What the Gonglaves were on both specials last night, and they've been on News Nation, they've been on Nancy Grace, they've been on Fox News, whatever. But the Maddie's dad was on the 2020 special, but he really, I mean, he didn't really provide much. Um, but the other parents didn't give statements, and their siblings too. And usually you'll have like one family who does the media stuff. One family member. I just think it's weird that the Gonglave is the gun, well, whatever their name is, that they're so out front and they put out these wild theories. I don't know if you caught it, but originally they said that she was the target and she had a stalker, and this some stuff that has not been substantiated in any way. But yesterday in the Dateline special, they claimed that Kaylee had pulled off the sheath, and she. Uh, the other thing was that, which is really far fetched, is that they hired private investigators who um, uh, have determined that Kohberger's cell phone connected to their Wi-Fi router. How the fuck would they know his MAC address to his phone? Like the police know it, but how would a private investigator know it to cross reference it? I think that they're full of shit. And I think what really happened here, and we can get into the Dylan stuff, is this is all a big distraction, right? You have people dropping dead everywhere, right? And what's the best way to keep people, occupied or distracted is, oh, let's hype up a quadruple murder in a sleepy town like Moscow, Idaho, and publish 10 articles a day about it, on random shit that the people on Reddit and TikTok are digging up. And let's get some Hunter Biden articles out there. Those always do well. And we're not seeing anything reported on these suddenly died issues.
I think that we had said that a couple weeks ago about the motive, at least behind the media's fascination with this case, to offer a distraction from Fauci. And as Fauci is losing power here, they're doing everything that they possibly can, including using the biggest weapon they have, which is the media, to distract. And Moscow, Idaho is about as far away from DC as you can get. So maybe there is something to be said about that. There is some truth. But the reality also is that a story like this is never going to be able to fully distract from Fauci or any of the other stories connected to, the suddenly died stories that are dominating our media landscape now. But also, I mean, what about this other theory about the former ranger, I think, who was the subject of the SWAT raid in Pullman, Washington, and how that potentially might be connected to this case? Now, the media immediately said these were two separate cases. Remember, when Kohberger was pulled over, I believe that his father said something about the SWAT raid in Pullman at Washington State and that it was horrific, I think is a term that his father used, Kohberger's father used. So now there's some more information about the target of that SWAT raid, and it's this former Iraq combat veteran. We can pull them up here. We got a couple memes. Well, they're not memes, they're actual photos. But what do you think about that, Agent X?
Well, I mean, we don't know, man. It's people just post. It's very likely people just post some bullshit, right? But there are posts coming out on 4chan and stuff saying that Kohberger was involved with this guy, and
Kopaka.
Kopaka. He was involved with Kopaka. Kopaka lived down in Pullman. That basically he was involved, and a SWAT team took him out on December 15th, right before they arrested Kohberger, which is really odd. And Kohberger even mentioned it in the police thing. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see what comes of it, but I think it's weird that he did ask, was there anybody else involved or anybody else arrested? And then that happens.
Is there any known connection between Kohberger and Kopaka?
I mean, not that's been reported by the prosecutors or the police, the prosecutors, or the defense, but they're under a gag order, remember?
We forgot to talk about the gag order and sealing a lot of this pretrial material in this case. I mean, that's very suspicious. I mean, there's a lot of protection orders that are issued, particularly in criminal cases before trials and stuff, but I think this goes deeper than that.
Well, it's funny, right? That what's really funny is the judge issued a gag order. So it really prevents Kohberger's counsel from really getting out there and making any statement. It's really detrimental, particularly the way that the media has presumed guilt, as we were talking about last night. But it's interesting that the public defender in Pennsylvania was on both 2020 and Dateline, and he's sort of being a mouthpiece because he's not subject to the gag order. So he's saying,
that's what we missed yesterday. Yeah, definitely. That's what you missed. That makes complete sense. Because we were wondering why the public defender in Philadelphia was doing all the speaking, assuming that it was some sort of violation of attorney-client privilege, and it very well still could be. But the fact of the matter is it really is kind of a back channel or a side channel around this gag order that they issued in Idaho.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's exactly
No,
right.
that's funny. That's funny. Interesting, because we've heard of the gag order being reported. I think we even heard Garagos talk about it, but no one ever mentioned the fact that the public defender in Pennsylvania is now, Kohberger's PR firm. And maybe too, this attorney-client privilege is flowing between Kohberger's counsel in Idaho and the Pennsylvania public defender.
Yeah, I
So they
think
can
that they're.
and leak certain information.
I think what's happening is they're trying to do an end run. I mean, with all the media coverage and the family and the Gonglavis family coming out and really hitting him, I think that they're doing an end around and having that public defender get out and say, "Oh yeah, he said he was innocent. He wanted to be exonerated," trying to get him out to kind of
Yeah,
get
and
his
you
side out.
think too, the judge in Idaho has very little recourse in sanctioning Kohberger's counsel for evading or getting around this gag order by communicating to the public defender in Pennsylvania. I mean, because without subjecting herself to ethics violations of the judicial canons by trying to violate Kohberger's attorney-client privilege to figure out if the counsel is leaking this information to the other public defender. I mean, so this is the perfect sort of protection.
Well, she doesn't have jurisdiction over the public defender
anyone in
in
Pennsylvania.
California.
Yeah, but
so
she has jurisdiction over the counsel in Idaho, the public defender there. What I'm saying is, if that public defender is leaking information to the public defender, because again, Kohberger doesn't have much communication ability in this county jail. He's got calls to his attorney, maybe calls to his family, but that's about it. I mean, they probably wouldn't even allow him to call the public defender in Philadelphia.
It'd be interesting to see if they're recording his calls and if they ever get released.
Oh, they're definitely going to get released. It's just a matter of when. You think that they would probably release them, or there'd be a bunch of requests from media outlets there to gain access to them after he's convicted. But they're probably subject to the sealing order too, don't you think?
Yeah,
Probably.
I mean, there'll probably be evidence, right?
You've heard nothing from Kohberger's parents.
No. Oh, the family statement that they put out when he was still in Pennsylvania.
What did they say?
Basically said that, they were grieving or they had their condolences for the victims of the 4 families, but they were standing by Brian Kohberger.
That's the only kind of statement you can make.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty, intelligent statement to make in the situation that they're in, but interesting. So back to the Range Rover though. How the hell did Kaylee Gonclaves get her hands on this Range Rover?
I don't know, man. That's a $1 million question,
we've been able to conclude would be drugs.
Yeah.
Or prostitution.
OnlyFans, bro.
I don't think she, I mean, looking at her photos and stuff, I don't think she'd be very successful on OnlyFans, but I don't know if she can make that kind of money on OnlyFans.
Dude, that's rough, bro.
It's got to be drugs. Got to be drugs.
Well, all right. So they said, so let's break it down, right? There's no motive that's been established right now, as far as we know. So we have a guy who was suffering from depression, had visual snow, who was in rehab, addicted to heroin, who was in an intense PhD program, who's been accused of it. Meanwhile, you have a quote-unquote party house across from Fraternity Row, where there's been serious chatter that they were selling cocaine and ecstasy and other drugs out of that house. You have a girl who moved out of the house and somehow bought a Range Rover. You have, two of the victims, not to really disparage them, but they kind of look drugged out. You have you have one of their former roommates in the dorms who apparently got bullied and committed suicide. But looking at sort of the drug connection, right? You have a drug addict and you have a drug house. So I think that there's some connection there. That's the most logical connection. Was it a drug deal gone bad? Were those
Mhm.
trips those trips he made before the 12 times? Was he in there buying drugs?
We do know that Kohberger was a drug addict. I don't know if you said that, but
Yeah,
we
he's
know
a heroin addict. Yeah, so I don't know.
maybe we don't know
What
if
are
he
your
was an
thoughts on
active
it?
heroin addict. We don't know if he was an active heroin addict. We do know that he had a past drug problem. And we do know that that house is a party house. We do know that, on the face of it, they don't look like they would be connected in any way because, again, based on at least the proximate information about Kohberger's life, he had just graduated from a graduate program and received a master's degree in criminology. He was in a PhD program, which is very demanding at Washington State. And I think he was 20 or he's 28 or 29, maybe he's 30. He's in
28.
that range. Okay. And then these are undergraduate students. So they're 20, 21, and 22 living in a house. Maybe a few of them were seniors. I don't know. Gonclaves was a senior, so she was probably 22. So yeah, I mean, but in the 20s, being 22 and 28 is a huge difference. So you have a serious PhD student, and then you have kind of party animal college students who didn't appear to be getting the top grades. Let's just say that. I mean, who knows? Maybe they did, but just on the face of it. So we have that, and just they just don't seem like very compatible. You kind of they're not only being kind of like a party house, they seem like they were more into certain other things. And Kohberger is from the East Coast. He's from Pennsylvania, tucked away in the Poconos Mountains, and somehow he's wanting to quote unquote stalk random college students, undergraduates at a nearby university in a different state 10 miles away. It just doesn't add up because most people from the East Coast, it's kind of a culture shock going to far off regions of the country. I know that when other people move to the Midwest, they don't immediately understand the culture, So we're turning on a little music here, so that
No. So my thoughts on that. So I think you got to remember one of the girl's sisters went to Washington State, right? That's conveniently being left out of a lot of media reports. Although there's been no indication that she knew him. But I think, if I was starting with a theory of a motive, I would say, did he hook up with these girls in some way? Did he hook up with these girls in some way?
I mean, just
for a drug buy?
what does your gut think about that, though? I mean, like, just outside of conspiracy theories, outside of any of the facts of this case, what does your gut say about whether or not you think that they hooked up in some way?
I think the fact that he was there 12 times makes me think probably. And, another... That would be the first thing, right? Is he went into town 12 times and he was near the house. Did he go in and buy drugs? You know, maybe he didn't buy them from the girls. Maybe he bought them from, the dude. There are a lot of people in and out. Maybe that there was somebody else there. Maybe it was a drug deal gone bad. I think one of the things that sort of points to that is the fact that Ethan and Xana were up at 4 a.m. ordering DoorDash. So, were they waiting on somebody? Usually you go out and party, right? You come home and you go straight to bed. You crash. They were up and they ordered DoorDash. So were they waiting on somebody? I mean, that would be my first thought.
Yeah, what about were there any allegations that the DoorDash driver heard any noises when they showed up, and have they interviewed the DoorDash driver, or have they tracked that person down?
Yeah, I think that they cleared him entirely. So I don't know.
You think that they would hear something though, or see something?
Yeah, it happened
just right before it happened.
No, according to the probable cause affidavit, they were almost simultaneous.
Oh my God. That's crazy. Right there. That's a crazy fact.
Pull up the probable cause affidavit.
All right, hold on. I hate these non-searchable PDFs. DoorDash I'm trying to search for, and because it's a binary file, you can't search through the actual text.
Let me see if I can find it. Oh my God. Oh, here, I have it. Do I have it? No, I don't have it. One second. Let's see. It says, okay, it says at approximately 4:17 a.m., a security camera located at Kings Road picked up a distorted audio of what sounded like voices or a whimper followed by a loud thud. A dog can also be heard barking numerous times starting at 4:17 a.m. The security cam is less than 50 feet away from the west wall of the Kernodle bedroom.
Yeah, but what about the DoorDash?
So we got 4:17, right? 4:17 is when the dog was barking.
What about the DoorDash time and then when these alleged incidences took place?
So he was westbound in Moscow. This is the Kohberger's car at 3:28 a.m.
Westbound would be going back to Washington State, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so 3:28.
Well, hold on one second. Okay, so suspect vehicle 1 can be seen entering the area 4th time at 4:04 a.m. Can be seen driving eastbound on King Road, stopping, turning around in front of 500 King Road, number 52, and then driving back westbound. So he was there at 4 o'clock, 4:04.
Okay. Yeah, I think the DoorDash driver, if I remember correctly, was around. I think you're referring to Kohberger being there at a different time, but
no, Kohberger was there. It said that he pulled in for a 4th time
at 4 a.m.
Kings Road at 4:04 a.m. I'm trying to find the DoorDash. I think it's up here. Okay, here. This is with the two roommates, Dylan and the other one, both made statements during interviews that indicated the occupants of the King Road residence were at home at 2 a.m. and asleep, or at least in their rooms by approximately 4 a.m. This is with the exception of Kernodle, who received a DoorDash order at the residence at approximately 4 a.m. Law
What
enforcement
the fuck?
identified the DoorDash delivery driver who reported this information. So
What
you have the
the fuck?
DoorDash driver in there at the same time.
What the fuck? That doesn't seem reasonable.
It doesn't seem right, does it?
Yeah, because the DoorDash driver would have heard or seen something. I mean, even if Kohberger was coming back for the fourth time, which also seems really weird, there'd be the DoorDash driver would probably see something, even if he wasn't let in or he didn't see the inside of the home. He would see something. He would see maybe even Kohberger's car. He would hear people screaming, stuff like that. That's another bizarre fact. We were also talking about this and comparing this to OJ. You know, OJ was an elite athlete. He was a former running back in the NFL, Hall of Famer, All-Pro running back during periods of his career, and he was accused of taking out 2 people. And Kohberger, who is, you know, he's a big guy, he looks strong, but he's not O.J. Simpson, smaller, weaker. Is accused of taking out 4 young people without anybody hearing anything, not being overpowered, having no injuries on him. I mean, even the FBI thought that he would have some injuries on him when they apparently tried to pull him over in Indiana to look at his hands.
I mean, isn't that interesting? Like say that there was defensive wounds, right? You'd think that they would have found a scratch on him or cuts or something, but it doesn't look like there's anything so far.
And yeah, 3 of the victims were women, but there was also one guy who looked to be about Kohberger's size, if not bigger. And then you had Dylan come, quote, face to face with Kohberger in a hallway immediately after all of this happened. And she said that she was frozen in fear, but she didn't call the cops right away. She waited until the next day, and she didn't call the cops immediately the next day either. She called someone else.
Well, we don't even know if it was her who called, right? They haven't released that information. But
that's true.
It's contradictory to say, oh, you saw somebody in the house and you were frozen in shock, and then at the same time provide all these excuses that, you know, you were asleep or you couldn't call the police or what. I mean, I can understand if you thought if your phone's not in the room or it's charging or something, or you don't have access to it. But you would think that somebody like that would, as soon as they felt that it was safe, would make a beeline to calling the police and say there's somebody strange in the house. It's so bizarre.
Even if it's a party house, a frat house, people are asking in a friendly manner and tone who random strangers are, especially if they're wearing all black and it's the middle of the night, 4 o'clock in the morning. Even a party house, even a frat house, they would be like, who is this person? You know, are you with Kaylee? Are you with, you know?
Well, that's what I was getting to, man. It's so inconsistent to say, oh, she was frozen in fear or frozen in shock, fear, or whatever she said in the affidavit, whatever she said to the police, and then turn around and then all these excuses as to why she didn't call the police immediately or, you know, shortly thereafter. And it was, you know, noon the next day before they called people over from one of the fraternities because somebody was quote unquote unconscious.
Why would she call? Yeah. Why would she call someone from the frat?
We don't know who. It could have been the other girl.
Friends. Okay.
Yeah. We don't know who made the call.
And if she came face to face with Kohberger in the hallway, I mean, there's a lot of theories that this could raise, but what if she was somehow responsible or felt guilty in some way for causing this? You know, maybe she, for all we know at this point, maybe she invited Kohberger over to the house and somehow Kohberger freaked out, they were high on, heroin or something, and he freaked
I don't
out.
think there's anything to support that right now, but if you pull up those questions that they keep posting, these people on 4chan and Reddit keep posting that, she needs to answer these questions. It says why on social media shows her staying on the ground floor, when apparently that night she was sleeping on the second floor, second level. When she moved rooms, why we were told she locked the door because she heard partying upstairs, why the killer didn't go. That's terrible. Why the killer didn't go after her when she saw him, and he apparently saw her. Why she didn't call the police or anyone till noon, and she didn't call the police. She called people to fraternity house, or what the other girl did. Why there are first reports that they texted the upstairs roommates and no one responded if she witnessed the fucking murders. Why she sat there listening to Xana bleed out crying. Why the records from her phone, what records were downloaded, which pair of vans did she see during the murders, what the fuck was she doing from 4:25 a.m. to 11:50 when they got the police there, and then I guess why she continues to party with some other girls. Her behavior is very strange. It's not really easily explained away.
How do you know that she was partying with other women shortly after that?
I don't know, man.
Instagram or something? Okay.
These Reddit.
Not you, but just 4chan or Reddit. Okay.
I don't know.
It's probably true. There's probably like photos somewhere, maybe TikToks of her doing this. But yeah, do you think? Okay. So the cops took possession of the house after this happened, so she had to move out at some point. Where's all of her stuff? Is she just out of luck for the time period? Maybe they let her take a few things that she needed.
I don't know, man.
It's probably all repossessed for the time being, at least while this case continues.
I think there was a picture that came out of her getting coffee or something the other day. It's the first picture in a while, but it's that stuff doesn't really matter. What matters is that we have a very inconsistent story here, and her actions are not easily explained. It's very peculiar behavior. Sorry.
Yeah, and why don't we know anything more about the neighbors? Because remember, the neighbors' Ring cameras were the ones who caught at least some of the noise coming out of the home that we've seen on TikTok and so forth. We don't know anything about what's going on there.
We'll eventually, if it goes to trial, we'll eventually hear that evidence, right? But it's not going to be for a long time. You have the prosecution wanting to get as far away from the press coverage as possible, pushing the probable cause hearing out. It's going to take them a while to get through discovery. I think it's just, are people going to care like they cared about, Johnny Depp or the Rittenhouse trial or any of these high-profile trials in 2 years when this thing will actually go?
Let me ask you one thing. I have two questions here. Do you think that this trial is going to be live streamed? Gut instinct.
Well, they've let cameras in there now for these hearings, so probably, yeah.
And this leads me to kind of my final question here, but maybe the numbers might be slightly different, but overall, do you think the Depp trial or the O.J. Simpson trial was bigger?
Well, O.J. Simpson, didn't the trial last like an entire year?
It's true. Yeah, we had the Bronco chase.
It was a different time, man. That wasn't a time where people watched.
Different time. We didn't have live streams. We didn't have social media.
Yeah, you were just then getting,
numbers might
news
not
networks.
be the same. That's why I said numbers might not be the same, but I guess, relative, considering the fact that there were major structural differences between how information was disseminated then and during the Depp trial.
I don't know. Probably the Depp trial, man.
Maybe, yeah.
But it's hard to tell.
I guess I was trying to make this argument that the O.J. Simpson trial was a huge, well-publicized trial, and maybe, the powers that be that control our media were thinking that this quadruple murder in Moscow would be the next level in the Depp trial, popularity contest. I know that's terrible to talk about considering that 4 people lost their lives here, but
what was interesting about the Depp trial?
So much media attention about a case.
What was interesting about the Depp trial, right, was you didn't see a lot of mainstream reporting on it. It was all alternative media. It was a lot of YouTubers live streaming it.
Remember, it also had kind of, not at first, you didn't hear a lot about it. I mean, there was a lot of shit going on about Depp, but no one really knew the specifics until later on. Like, who knew that Amber Heard accused Johnny Depp of rape? Like, I didn't even know that until years into that case. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, and so I think if this ever got live streamed, this Idaho case, it'd be bigger because you'd have both the mainstream and the sort of the Reddit sleuths and the independent media going after covering it. Whereas with Johnny Depp, you didn't have like that overwhelming mainstream media coverage of it.
It was different. It was more of like the feminist angle on the Depp case that came from the mainstream media. I know that the Washington Post had published Amber Heard's open letter, and they were kind of taking her side at first. But yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, she was losing, so they didn't want to cover it.
Oh, okay.
Did you see Johnny Depp's attorney got Camila Vasquez? She got hired by NBC as a legal analyst, and she went on the Today Show, and she looked like a complete fucking dumbass. Couldn't answer simple questions. Like Savannah Guthrie had to jump in and like help her out. It was very embarrassing.
What were the questions?
I don't know. If you Google it, you can.
Give me an example. All right, hold on.
It was like, why I don't know. You have to Google it. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. It's the top one. That one, yeah. You gotta unmute it, bro.
I'm trying to find
the arrest of Brian Kohberger over the holiday break.
I feel better.
Here we go.
I can't even describe it. Like,
nope, that's not Vasquez.
Further.
Here we go, right there.
Welcome in our NBC News legal analyst, Camille Vasquez. Camille, good morning. Good to see you. So size up this case. We've got DNA evidence. There's a living person who was in the home who saw some things. How strong is the case against him?
I think it's extremely strong. And the police and the investigators are not in the business of telling us everything that they have. They want to put enough to get probably. Okay,
so I'm going to stop it right there. First of all, what's wrong with the initial tone of her answer here? It just seems like she's kind of like a fish out of water. She doesn't come off very.
She doesn't come out with she's not very confident in what she's saying.
But that's just because this is kind of like new experience for her, right? It's not because she doesn't lack legal expertise.
I don't know, man. Keep watching.
Probable cause to get a judge to sign that search warrant.
Yeah, I mean, we won't know perhaps until the preliminary hearing more evidence in the case. I find it interesting. Hoda and I were just talking about it. You know, there were weeks and weeks where it seemed like there was nothing going on in
Isn't it weird they're all women too now?
the department. Now we learn that perhaps they had been tracking the suspect since late November. Investigators have to make a decision at that point to keep things close to the vest. That helps with the investigation, I presume.
Exactly right. I mean, this is a case that's garnered so much attention worldwide, really. And so I think these investigators do not want to make any mistakes. They do not want to give the suspect any reason to have the case not go the way they want it to.
We've heard a lot about these internet.
Dude, she
That's
sounds like a moron.
Terrible answer. They really need to pair her with someone,
Well, I don't
at
think
least
she's very
initially
smart.
while she's doing this.
And I always said, I don't
No,
think she
I
did a
mean-
great job at that Johnny Depp case.
No, she didn't. Oh, I mean, I think we went over that in depth, during that case. And I think you were like, yeah, Camila Vasquez did kind of a shitty job. I mean, she had one witness to cross-examine Amber Heard, but she was like really prepared for that. I mean, she
I don't
had
think the
months to-
cross-examination was that good. I mean, I don't think that they won that case. I think that Amber Heard's attorneys lost it, particularly with what's her face? What's her name? Ellen or
Oh yeah. The older one, right?
the Harriet type?
The cocktail
Yeah.
waitress, kind of. Yeah. What was her fucking name? Ellen.
Elaine.
Yeah, it was like Elaine something. I want to say her last name starts with a B. Too bad we don't have chat on our channel because we have a strike. By the way, I think we're going to be back tomorrow. But yeah, I think these are terrible answers by Camila Vasquez. Let's see what else she says.
Internet sleuths. Everyone's trying to get in on the case and give their theories, and in some cases name names. Do those kind of folks hurt a case, or can they?
So here's the thing, though, about so she's an NBC News legal analyst. Most legal analysts who get jobs in the mainstream media, like who is that fucker who was messing around at CNN for like 20 years? Your Harvard boy.
Fuck, what's his name?
He got fired for
Tubin.
masturbating on a Zoom call.
Jeffrey Tubin.
Jeffrey Tubin, that's right. Man, I used to be able to recall these names much quicker. Anyways,
You got the vax,
a lot of these
bro. That's
guys
the
are
problem.
women. I didn't get the vax, but yeah, I definitely, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm getting older, but they work up. They gain experience, whereas I think Camila Vasquez just got this job. She had no lower level experience to get her to this point. By the way, this video only has 19,000 views. Published 5 days ago. This is from NBC News Today. I mean, that's nothing.
They occasionally help a case.
I think they can do both, right? I mean, I think the internet sleuth, this has become something that really captivates.
She totally is. Yeah, she's just not doing. I mean,
She's not like Wallach, man. She's not like Wallach when he does his fucking TV.
You gotta get pompous assholes up there.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you though. But the fact that she's weighing in on this, it just tells you, man, it's it's a glow up. And they're trying to sensationalize it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to use it to distract from the other stories in the media. I mean, we've got a president who they're going after Trump. We have Biden, who has classified documents. They found more classified documents today. Excuse me. We found more classified documents. You have Hunter Biden, the Hunter Biden mess. You have all the Twitter drops. You have a war in Ukraine.
I think there was a couple more Twitter files
Yeah.
that we never covered. They were just, mostly things that everybody already knows. Schiff making censorship requests to Twitter. Russiagate bullshit. But yeah, I mean, what do you think about Hunter Biden stating that he's paying $49,000 to live in his father's Delaware home, which, by the way, is not a mansion. It's like a 4 or 5 bedroom house. $49,000 in rent.
Yeah, that's how you launder money, bro. You pay somebody an exorbitant rent. That's how you funnel money to them. I don't know. It's funny. You see these stories now popping up about him not wanting to have the stripper he knocked up. She's trying to change the daughter's name to Biden, and he's opposing it. He's trying to. He filed a brief opposing it, saying that he wanted the girl to have a peaceful existence. These people are the scum of the earth, bro. I mean, the whole family is scum. The whole Biden family, top to bottom, scumbags. That includes Jill Biden, who is probably, she's right up there with Hunter. She was the one pushing Joe Biden to run. And it's really exploitative that she did, because he's not in any shape. I mean, he can't string a sentence together.
Yeah, it's really terrible. And Joe Biden doesn't look that great either, to be honest with you.
No, she had a bunch of skin cancer removed.
Yeah, and if they're not physically capable of performing that job, which requires tons of travel, tons of walking, Joe Biden certainly isn't, because he's in worse shape than Jill, and Jill isn't in the best shape. So, I mean, it's a total disaster. We've had geriatric presidents before. Ronald Reagan was accused of having dementia, particularly later in his presidency. But I don't think we've ever had something this bad before. And you notice, too, when they're not shooting Joe Biden up with a bunch of this dementia medication, when he's caught off guard. For example, I think when Peter Doocy did a couple days ago, or just in general, it's not that he can't even string sentences together. It's just that he seems like he's completely loopy. He doesn't even know where he's at. It's bad.
Dude, do you see what go to the front page of the New York Post right now. Dude, what did you think of my my proof of the AI, all these stories being fake? What did you do? I sent you earlier today.
Okay, so you, just for context, you sent me a couple images and you were like, so I think your exact statement, Agent X, was, this is how you know that the news is all fake and AI generated, and you sent me a couple pictures.
Yep.
And the pictures were, let me pull them up here. Well, I don't know. I don't know why you told me to go to the New York Post aside from this.
Oh, well,
Hunter
here.
Biden.
If you go to the New York Post, what's the top story? Biden, right? Scroll down.
Hunter Biden.
I just want to show you how exploitative this the mainstream media is. So the top stories are this officer, right, in Tennessee who was having sex in her husband's. Keep scrolling down, and stop on the Gonzalez picture. Right here. This is what I find terrible, right? They're putting a story in here, and instead of just using like there's tons of normal pictures of Kaylee Gonzalez on her Instagram and stuff, but what do? They sex it up by putting her in a bikini with her fucking boobs hanging out, so you're instantly attracted to this story.
Oh yeah, yep, to get your attention.
Yep.
And it's sad considering the facts of this case and Kaylee Gonzalez and her family. To be fair, I'm sure her family isn't excited to have that picture.
I mean,
out there.
Like, if God forbid something happens to you and they put an article in the paper, I mean, would you want your fucking you know, your
Yeah.
junk hanging out and
Sure.
stuff. I mean, this is terrible.
No. You know, yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because we had just shown the picture of that the army, the ranger, right? Kobodo or whatever, Kopeka.
Yeah.
In Washington State. And remember, whenever something bad happens to a veteran, unless it's a heinous case, they always release that like really good looking picture of them in boot camp when they look all, you know, ripped and totally in shape. Even if the guy's in his 40s, they'll release the picture when he looks really good. That's the kind of picture you want released if something ever happens to you.
I mean, isn't it
doing this?
Yeah, and isn't it funny? So I never heard anything about that Washington State swatting. And if you go to that
and
article,
considering what happened to that Kopeka character, like he was accused of doing some pretty heinous shit, and they still released, you know, the good-looking photo of him.
well, no. If you go to that article I sent you, maybe you put it on your Miro board, but it sounds like what happened. Like it sounds like they straight up executed him.
Yeah, they did. For sure.
Like
Which article?
The article about, I sent you an article about his swatting.
Oh yeah, I have it on the Miro board. Hold on.
Yeah, but if you read the article, it sounds like they straight up executed him because it said something along the lines of that he basically wouldn't talk to the negotiators, so they had to take him out.
Oh, fuck, I didn't put it in here. Yeah, that's what they said. Yeah, we can pull it up, but yeah, pretty much what they said. You know, funny. They said that he had PTSD from combat in Iraq, and you know, blamed it on mental health issues. We got the 4chan here, but yeah,
Dude, go to the picture of the police officer.
Oh yeah, I think I did actually put that in here.
It was down to the left. Yeah, it's right there. I mean, look at that, man. We have Caroline Ellison, the FTX shit, and then the police officer in Tennessee. You know, they both got snaggletooths. I mean, this is you gotta wonder, man. Are they AI generating these fucking images of people?
Why does AI like snaggletooths?
I don't know, but you know, and they always release this picture of Ellison or that YouTube video.
That the one on the right does seem fake. I don't know about the Ellison one, but there's been a lot of news lately about AI and fixing issues with these photos, like fixing eye contact in these photos. There's some psychological thing where people are more interested in looking at photos and therefore stories, articles, and so forth, if the actual picture is making eye contact with you.
But hold on.
And
Let me make my point. Let me make my point here. So with Ellison, they always show this picture of her or that YouTube video where she's sitting between the two guys giving the interview.
True.
Like we don't have a picture of her out on the street. We don't have a picture of like any other normal pictures of her. It's this picture. So it's funny. I don't know what to make of it, but did you see where the CTO of FTX said that Sam Bankman-Fried ordered him to put in a backdoor so he could funnel money?
No, I didn't see that.
Go to the Daily. Yeah, go to the Daily Mail. They put it in a bankruptcy filing in Delaware. Dude, your Jaguars are coming back against the San Diego Superchargers. No, you just got to not seeing the Asian guy. Just go to the front page of the Daily Mail. Just go to the front page of the Daily Mail.
All right.
Look at front page story there, man. Dude, how do you feel about that?
Pretty
Go
good,
scroll up,
man.
scroll up. How do you feel about them letting this guy out? So he could pay his let him out on bail so he could pay his child support and his alimony.
Which guy? This
Al-
guy? Alabama
yeah, the
chiropractor?
Alabama chiropractor, yeah.
Oh my God. So we can pay
How
his
does that
child-
guy get that hot chick?
It's Alabama, man.
Alabama.
I mean,
All right, scroll down.
talk about
Uh,
snaggletooths.
They got
There's a lot of hot chicks in Alabama, and there's a lot of goofy guys.
right there. Hold on. It's right there. They shrunk the story right there. Sam Bankman-Fried secret $65 billion backdoor. There you go. They put it in a bankruptcy filing. He testified to that.
FTX boss ordered co-founder to hard code a single number into millions of lines of code to funnel clients' cash, attorney claims.
Yep.
Why would it be a hard-coded value inserted into the code base? Like,
I don't know, but you're missing
No.
you're missing the point of it. Is that the CTO is
Trying to
testifying?
blame. Yeah, they're trying to blame each other. I get it.
No, Bankman-Fried hasn't said anything, but the CTO has testified that Bankman-Fried ordered him to put that back door in, and that's how they funneled the cash to Alameda.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Now,
So
you're coming.
Bankman-Fried is going to be fucked because what they did was the FTX lawyer in the bankruptcy cited Gary Wang's testimony. And it says right there, Diedrich told the court that Wang created a backdoor by inserting a single number into millions of lines of code for the exchange, creating a line of credit which customers did not consent to. And he said that Bankman-Fried ordered him to do it. That's wild, man. And you notice
Your conspiracy theory about this is all coming to light right now.
Yeah.
I'm visualizing.
Well,
someone
you see what's
got to Sam Bankman-Fried to convince him to do this.
Well, you see what's happening, right? Is you're seeing these legal cases line up one after the other after the other. You'll see more too. They're trying. The New York Post is trying to get that one case off the ground of the missing mom. What is it?
Oh yeah, I think I've seen a little bit about that. Which no one is paying attention to.
Yeah. But they're trying to distract. They're lining up these cases one after the other, after the other, after the other. You know, the Bankman-Fried, it's been all quiet, bro. Nothing's really been reported about it until this article that I was showing you. But they're lining it up because I really think that you're going to see more people, unfortunately, have complications and stuff. And they're lining this up. I mean, they're lining up a series of distractions.
And remember, the New York Post got a huge payout from the CDC to push certain things that have happened in the past 3 years. Again, all of these major mainstream media outlets got this, including Fox News. So Fox News owns the New York Post. Everybody knows that. So, you know, they have a motive. They have a basis for, you know, producing a lot of this, you know, like cases to distract the public.
Yeah, I don't know. They're setting stuff up. They want a major distraction. You hear that there's like no reporting on Ukraine anymore. And I sent you
that's another thing I was going to ask you about. Like, what the fuck happened to Ukraine?
I sent you that link where Britain approved to put sending not only tanks but Hellfire helicopters in.
Apache helicopters with Hellfire missiles.
Yeah.
Pull that up. Oh shit,
dude, those are your girls right there. That's yours.
I don't know. Everybody
that-
says Ellison's not attractive, but I guess I like nerdy.
You got to put
Shit.
that in your
I know.
spank bank, bro.
I know. I have, for sure.
Oh, you're disgusting.
There's that one other image of her in that coffee shop in Manhattan, I think, when she was meeting with the prosecutors. But yeah, she doesn't look that bad when you see her in videos. I mean, they pick like the worst photo to show.
I don't know, bro.
There's the UK armed forces have sent the Apache helicopters, which they've bought from the United States, to Ukraine. I mean, they're gonna have to train some pilots.
Nah, man, they're gonna send troops with them. They also approved the a measure to send tanks too, and it's only a matter of time before the United States follows suit, and you're in a full-fledged war then.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. We're talking about major distractions, but they're never going to work. What's going to be a distraction that might actually work, cover all this stuff up? A fucking war. When all else fails, start a war. That's what's going to happen. And
well, it's funny. They expected the
line for the Russians, man.
They expected the economy to crash, and there's a lot of layoffs going on out there. But I think Jamie Dimon at Chase came out the other day, and he said they expect a mild recession now. So the economy's not as bad as they thought it was going to be. So now they're trying to distract us instead of fearing that you're going to drop dead. They're hyping up these spousal murder cases, and they're hyping up this Idaho stuff to make people fearful that so you're gonna have your spouse is gonna kill you, or you're gonna have a stranger with no motivation, no motive come in and butcher you. I mean, instead of actually fearing that you're gonna drop dead from something else, suddenly died.
Yeah, not to change the subject, but did you hear that JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon, I guess they wrote off a bunch of investments that they had made, one in a company that offered financial aid automation?
Yeah, the girl was in the Forbes 30 under 30, and she went to Wharton, and she had millions of fake accounts. What was the platform called?
She
It was
said
like
that she
Frank
used,
or something like
Frank. Yeah, Frank, or I think it was Frank. She said that she paid a data scientist.
They sued her for the money back.
Yeah, but I was thinking they're trying to tuck this underneath the FTX stuff. Because like when the whole Madoff thing happened, a bunch of other companies went under at the same time, and they tucked it in underneath that. There was the Ponzi scheme in Minnesota involving Tom Petters that happened around the same time that they kind of tucked in underneath that. And so when these people have made bad investments, they use bigger cases and they try to tuck shit underneath it. Like, the rug's already,
it was Frank.
Frank.
Dude, look up this girl, Charlie Jarvis. Tell me what you think of her.
Charlie Jarvis. I'm not spelling her name right.
Yeah, you gotta.
How do you spell
it's Javis. Javice. Javis. Sorry. Dude, that's your girl right there, man.
She's cute.
How'd you like to get sued for $175 million?
By Jamie Dimon. One of the biggest, the biggest bank in the U.S., I think, JP Morgan.
Yeah, no, I think it's Bank of America. Dude, there's your girl right there, man.
She's attractive.
That picture screams.
You know what? I've had enough women from the University of Pennsylvania sue me, so I don't need more.
Dude, she's your girl, though. Definitely.
She goes to Wharton, huh?
She went to Wharton. Now she's employed by, or she was employed by JP Morgan Chase.
Wait, they're still employing her, yet they're suing her? Didn't they immediately fire her and then sue her?
I don't know. You got to look at her LinkedIn. It says that she was still employed with them.
They probably fired her. She just probably hasn't updated her LinkedIn, but still, yeah. She better get back into Wharton.
Dude, I'm going to send you this picture. I'm going to send you a copy of this. Now, we have Milk Day coming up on Monday.
Milk Day?
Milk Day.
Yeah, Martin Luther King. Yep.
I'm sending in the private chat here. I'm sending you a photograph. They unveiled this statue. I don't know where it was at. I think it was in a big city. Maybe it was in Boston.
Dude, I'm a big fan of Martin Luther King.
Dude, tell me what you think of this statue.
All right, you put it in the private chat. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hold on, let me pull it up.
Don't you like the tunes in the background?
It's terrible. I can't do that to my boy. Martin Luther King.
Dude, you got to look at the statue here.
I mean, I'm gonna just preface this with the fact, again, I'm gonna repeat myself. I'm a big fan of Martin Luther King, so I do not agree with this, but I will put it up because I'm sure that Martin Luther King was, had a sense of humor. So
this was a statue that they put up. You got to zoom out, bro. Yeah, it's in Boston.
what's a super zoomed in photo of the statue? Is that?
Yeah, that's the statue right there.
It's like super zoomed in. Where's the other angle here?
Dude, that's the statue right there. It's hands holding on to each other, but it looks like, like hands holding on to a big turd or like giving a hand job or something like that.
Yeah. Totally makes sense. Totally. Where is this? Boston?
Boston.
Preview of Embrace Boston. That's hilarious.
Here, you want another picture of it? Here, I'm gonna send you another picture of it.
Yeah.
All right. Boom, boom, boom. Dude, you gotta love that music, bro. Maybe you should get on. Maybe you should start playing some Call of Duty, man.
Yeah, maybe we should both be playing some Call of Duty. Can I play some Call of Duty on your channel?
If you want, bro. I don't have my PlayStation.
This is a really interesting sculpture. What does this tell you about Boston?
That they have ugly statues. I don't know. Doesn't it make you mad that they pulled down the statues of Robert E. Lee and all these great American history figures, and they put up a statue like that for Martin Luther King that's just butt ugly, that doesn't honor him in any way, that doesn't have any, there's nothing about him that reflects his likeness or his message. Instead, it looks like, a bunch of dismembered arms, holding up a turd.
Yeah, it's an odd statue. I'll give you that. But this wasn't a previous statue that was torn down based on whatever primitive or limited information I have. Dude,
why don't we play some Call of Duty, man?
We could. I mean, I guess. I don't know. We gotta get
Xbox.
Isaiah Rose now. We gotta get your boy Isaiah. What happened to Jimmy Football? Jimmy Touchdown.
I don't know where Jimmy Touchdown is, bro. Hold on. You want me to go to his channel?
I think he took it down. Your boy took the channel down.
Oh man, he did take the channel down.
He didn't want to debate with you.
Dude, it wasn't me. I don't know what was going on there.
Well, Do we even still have any viewers? No.
Dude, we got 434.
Well, if you're out there, please do like the video and subscribe to my main channel, which has a strike on it right now. But also, if you can, this channel.
Dude, they've killed our chat, bro.
I know. And the funny thing is, when you know about how these fucking schemes work with YouTube and everyone else, it's like they'll demonetize you in certain ways that make it like what they've done to your boy Jason Burmis. Like at the time when he's about to get monetized again, they'll strike him just so that he has to wait another 3 months, puts content out, and then like a week before he's gonna get monetized again, they'll strike him.
Hey, I'm gonna send you a link. Pull this up.
I like the music. We got to get some Led Zeppelin. Too bad we can't do that without getting a copyright strike. Got to get like an 8-bit MIDI of Led Zeppelin.
Dude, you gonna click this link or not?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm clicking it right now. Oh, should I log in?
Yes.
Let me do private. I think you can do it on a private. Yeah, hold on.
Dude, your setup is busted.
Oh, I love it. Hold on, let me share. Let me share.
She's rating guys. I think you should get with Amaranth, bro.
It's the OnlyFans economy.
Dude, wasn't that funny when I sent that to you? We had an agrarian economy, then we moved to an industrial economy, then we moved to a service economy, and then more recently we were in the
put that in our Miro board, but it's so true.
Yeah, we were in the gig economy, and now we're literally in the OnlyFans economy. Dude, how much do you spend a month on OnlyFans?
On the OnlyFans economy or OnlyFans itself as a platform?
Well, both. Give me numbers for both.
I don't spend any money on OnlyFans, but I would say in the general paradigm of what you could describe as the OnlyFans economy, I spend more than I would be willing to admit. It would be almost embarrassing. I would say, like to deflect a little bit, like when I would go to a strip club, for example, with my brother, he would spend way too much money.
Did you guys go to Chippendales?
Funny. I would mentally track how much money
dude, you guys went to
spending,
Chippendales, bro.
Just to shame him right at the end. I'd always know the exact amount or a very close number. Yeah, so I mean, for myself, I'm always like, I try not to think about it too much because it's just, plus you got to keep it on the down low, particularly in today's world. I mean, once someone figures out, even if you're someone like me who, you've been tabloided up 15 times, I could care less what other people say about me, but still at the same time, you still try and secret some of that information, at least in the real time.
Bro, we know that you and your brother went to Chippendales, all right, man? You don't have to call it a strip club.
What's that main one in Minneapolis?
You went to Chippendales.
It's not King of Diamonds. It's the other one. It's Deja Vu, man. Deja Vu.
Dude, did you also go see Thunder Down Under?
What's that?
Dude,
I'm genuinely serious. I'm not Googling that shit.
Dude, what do you think of Amaranth?
Dude, she's not my type. But look, I know a lot about her because you sent me some information. I think it was her husband. Like, no one even knew she was married. She wanted to keep that secret off the screen.
Yeah. Very deceptive.
Because she thought that she would get ton more money and followers and subscribers if no one knew that she was married?
Dude, you got to be a mega simp to give
And
her
then-
a dime.
Oh, I know. And then she got on her stream one day after she was upset with her husband and started going off about how he had, quote, like threatened her or something, and played voicemails and stuff. Like, even if the guy was being an asshole and stuff, like, why would you do that to your husband? Like, what the fuck? If I was Amaranth's husband in that situation, I would immediately file for a divorce. Immediately. And then she had the balls to claim that her husband was taking all of her money. Like, that is just improbable. I mean, do you think Amaranth's husband gets any chunk of the amount of money that she's making off Twitch or OnlyFans or whatever other platform she's using?
She's a multimillionaire, man. She bought a gas station or something. Hey, dude, I just sent you a picture. There's a picture of you in high school online. I just wanted to send it to you.
Hold on, you probably did get the real one. I can tell you that I was a huge nerd.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, we gotta be careful about this. Which browser do I use to look this up first? Check it to make sure I don't do anything really crazy.
Dude, it's
That was
100%
almost
safe.
me, except for the fact that was almost me, except for the fact that I don't even know if I want to show this, but I guess I will. I almost did have a computer in my bed. Well,
Dude,
actually,
this picture is definitely you.
I was not really like that, but I could tell you that I spent most of my time on a computer.
Dude, why are you being lazy like that?
Dude, I used to write CGI scripts in high school, do some Perl stuff, PHP shit. I'd be playing Rainbow Six, Tom Clancy, before Cross-Strike or whatever that was. That game came out. Counter-Strike, not Cross-Strike. Yeah, dude, I was a huge geek. I tried to stay off a computer too for a month, and it was really hard for me to do. It kind of ruined my life, actually. I could talk forever about what I did in high school. And
Hey, so let me ask you a question.
Remember those monitors, dude? Remember those fucking monitors? They were huge.
CRT monitors, yeah, bro.
Oh my god! Did anybody you know have two CRT monitors and had dual monitor setups?
Yep, yeah. Dude, do you remember the old iMacs that came in one unit?
Yeah.
And then E-Machines like ripped it off?
Yes, I do remember that.
Dude, did you have
E-Machines?
I bet that you Jewed out and you got a Celeron processor in your machine.
Dude, I do remember the Celeron processors, but weren't E-Machines owned by EMC? Ross Perot was the CEO or owned most of EMC, right? Anyways, yeah, E-Machines were like a nice little knockoff of those Macs. Remember that was right when Steve Jobs was coming back to life too, after he came back from Pixar. But even before that, remember, he invented Smalltalk at the company that he went to immediately after getting fired from Apple. And then he took Smalltalk, which was one of the first object-oriented programming languages, and eventually got it into Apple after they rehired him back as CEO. Anyways, Smalltalk was a big deal back in the day, bro.
Yep.
I don't know shit about Smalltalk.
Dude, I know everything about Smalltalk. I exclusively code in Smalltalk.
Mm-hmm. Dude, a lot of telecommunication stuff is built in Smalltalk, and these contractors are dying left and right. Of course, what's sad, it's not getting better, but these contractors that they're making bank off these Smalltalk contracts, man. I was talking to one like a year ago, and he said he was making like $300 or $400 an hour.
Damn, bro.
But you have to use a proprietary IDE to code, and there's no like independent packaging or dependency management system for Smalltalk. Like a lot of these unit test frameworks and so forth, they're all custom built by developers who just have a ton of Smalltalk knowledge and experience. But anyways, I had a small talk developer who came to me a year and a half ago. He was trying to get on a project and become a Java developer. And he said that it depends on, where you're at and so forth. But like small talk is a dying language, but if they really need you bad, they're willing to pay top dollar. But yeah, was this you in your dorm room? This is more like a dorm room setup, by the way.
Nah,
So
bro.
this person, by the way, was not in high school.
Nah, bro. You know that wasn't me. Dude. Yeah, dude. I don't know. You wanna wrap it up?
Did
You
you
gonna play
wear
some
black
Call of Duty?
socks like that?
Dude, nah, I only wear gray socks.
Well, it's 10 o'clock here, Central Time Zone. Why don't we wrap it up unless you have anything else?
Nah, man, I don't got anything else. You're gonna let all our viewers down, bro.
What do our viewers want to hear?
I don't know, man. They probably want to watch Amaranth, bro.
Well, it's probably better than watching us right now at 10 o'clock.
Dude, why don't you get Amaranth to rate you?
Dude, I've seen a couple of these rating Twitch streams, and I feel like every single guy, usually they're young guys, of course, they're a little more gullible. They're total simps. They get in there and they just totally try and please these women. They're willing to say anything they can, and it's just like, it's grotesque. It's disgusting. No, I would never put myself in that position. Would you?
No.
Not publicly
Hey.
on a stream like this. It'd be humiliating.
Hey, let me ask you a question. What do you think of that new Velma Scooby-Doo
Plus,
show?
I know if she was testing me in one of these rating things, I mean, I might actually win, and that might be the worst thing in the world for me.
Dude, seriously, what do you think of the new Velma show?
Velma show.
Yeah,
What's that?
Scooby-Doo.
Oh, you sent me a picture that the lead character is.
They made
is-
Velma Indian.
something?
They made Shaggy black. They made Fred an entitled white guy and who has white privilege and who hasn't hit puberty yet and is a huge like loser. And they made Velma a mean girl Asian.
Damn. Oh, well, I can't find any images right now. I know you sent me one.
Well,
I didn't put it in the
well,
email
trash,
board. I'm
bro.
trying to find it.
And Scooby-Doo hasn't shown up yet.
It's got to be like a news article.
I don't know, bro.
Here we go. I think, is this it? One of these?
I can't see, bro. I'm watching Amaranth. You
Oh,
don't have it on the
fuck.
main screen.
Hold on, let me change
You
it.
got Amaranth rating some dudes on there. There you go.
Is that the new show? Scooby-Doo is
Yeah,
a great
well-
show today.
No, on the left is the old animation for Shaggy. On the right is the new animation in Velma.
Oh. See, I can only really remember Shaggy, Velma, and Scooby-Doo from that show. All the other characters, can't remember. But yeah, what do I think? I mean, what's not to like about equity? You know, giving races of
Dude.
people chance in cartoons.
Dude, you're trying to ESG gay up our stream, bro.
Dude, what do you think?
I think it's awful to wokeify beloved franchises like this and make bad
Okay,
television
so
shows.
I actually want to dig into that though. Like, why is it awful though? Like, what is it? Are you pissed because you're so used to the show?
Well,
You
no,
don't
no,
wanna-
no, no, no. But this has been a consistent thing where they come in and they social justice woke established properties up. They don't go in and make new properties, right? They go in and they try to take established properties. It's a tactic that the left uses, is so they'll take something like Superman and they want to make a black Superman, right? So they want the popularity of Superman to sort of push their diversity and inclusion agenda and grab the fan base of Superman instead of just creating a new character. And a lot of nerds get really upset about that. But
Yeah, they
it
do.
goes to their ESG score and all that stuff. It's pretty awful. I mean, what it does is just destroys your IP, destroys your audience. You know, your audience doesn't want to watch it. It's no longer beloved. Like what they've done to Star Trek is an absolute travesty, man. Star Trek was, oh man, it was just such a solid show. It was very humanist, and what they've injected into Star Trek with the new shows, it's like it's not only bad television, bad storytelling, bad TV to watch. It destroys it destroys the property. Like they turned Captain Picard into a.
Look at this article.
Scooby-Doo debunks
Sorry,
rumors.
I shouldn't have cut you off there. You're on a roll. But
No. But
yeah,
they turned Captain Picard into a robot. They uploaded him into a golem. I mean, they just fucking destroy it, and it's like it's always the girl. Like every movie is they have to have the girl who is like the tech expert and who is the key to everything. It sucks. It's terrible, dude. Jacksonville's coming back, man. They were down 30-7.
fuck, you're right. As much as I hate watching football, it's still tempting at times to turn it off. Yeah, I mean, because I think Trevor Lawrence threw 3 interceptions in a matter of 5 minutes. But anyways, yeah, you're right about that. But like Scooby-Doo, okay, so Shaggy, right? Everybody accused him of using drugs, but suddenly when the Shaggy is replaced by a black character, he's no longer able to be accused of using drugs, right? Because suddenly now that's changed and you can't say that about a black character anymore. And that's, I think, part of the problem. And then the other part here is that like there's an audience. And I think when they do some of this wokeification, they're not considering the audience. Like the audience is used to a certain character. They're used to a certain person or a certain type playing that character. This is incredibly true with Superman or Star Trek or Scooby-Doo even. I mean, if that's the case, let's start talking about Scooby-Doo. Why is Scooby-Doo a black or a brown dog? Isn't that racist? I mean, shouldn't Scooby-Doo be a white dog? I'm saying that sarcastically, of course. But the same...
Hey, dude, I don't mean to cut you off, but I gotta drop off.
Okay, well, subscribe and like the video. We'll see you tomorrow, probably.
Yep. Thanks.
Goodbye.